Hey guys, Jens and I just popping in for this special AAPI Comic Book Heritage Month feature. It's already been like a month. The month has flown by with our AAPI Heritage celebration, and just want to thank all the great creators and community members and YouTubers that have been joining in this month. I do have some announcements moving forward, but yeah, it's been a great month. Just want to thank everybody for uh, attending and being engaged. And yeah, we're kind of closing things out with a great guest here. Jens and I really like his channel. We are inviting here, and we're going to be getting to know John from Old Stuff Is Cool. Welcome, John.
Hey, thank you so much for having me, guys.
Our pleasure. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. I'm over on the East Coast, so it's about 10 p.m. here, and it's a Friday, so
Yeah,
this is a good way to unwind with some fellow comic fans, and looking forward to kind of getting to know each other better, and obviously in sharing some of my story as well.
wonderful. Jens, anything you want to add?
No, it's great. I mean, yeah, Otaku showed me your channel, so I'm a new subscriber, but I've been slowly catching up, and I really enjoy the channel, and yeah, you have some, I mean, amazing pickups. So I haven't seen it all yet, just because like I said, I'm subscribed new, but yeah, got some amazing finds there all the time, which is amazing, which is great. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you checking out some of the videos.
Yeah, we're big fans of the channel. My initial outreach to you was because I've been watching your content and really enjoying everything you kind of introduce and your take on collecting. So you're out there in Boston, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. So, just give us a little background on who you are, what you do.
Sure. So, as Otaku mentioned, I'm in the Boston area. I've primarily grown up in the Northeast of the United States, so that's been home base one way or another. Childhood growing up, and when I first got into comic books was in Long Island, New York. So back in the heyday of the '90s, when I got into comics, like uh, I remember I think like fifth or sixth grade, like when I stepped into my first comic store.
Nice.
Um, I think we all remember our first, and so I think my very first, actually, well, my very first superhero comic was X-Men #1, the one with the multiple Jim Lee covers, and it had the Colossus cover, who still remains one of my favorite X-Men characters. That kind of a lot of people who got into comics, X-Men in particular, in like the early '90s, it was like this perfect storm of the animated series and the freaking arcade game, which I just loved.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
had the 4-player version, or if you're lucky, the 6-player like double widescreen TV
Yeah.
one. And my boy Colossus was there too. So that's the kind of what got. And for action figures, I also love toys and have a modest collection of that. So it's like all the things my little geeky heart loved. It's like, oh yeah, like comic books, it was inevitable. So
Yeah.
X-Men's first love, but actual like floppy comics was actually the Archie Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comics. And
Okay.
connecting back to the toys, it's because KB Toy Store, back when those were a thing in the mall, they had those Ninja Turtle comics, and getting hooked on the cartoon. Those were for sure like super beat up. I don't know, like a dozen issues of those. Unfortunately, I don't have them anymore because I in one of many comic purges, they did not make, they didn't last, which I highly regret. But at the same time, having gone back to reread some of those digitally, I'm like, it's probably some things are best left in our memory, and I think that's definitely the case for like a lot of hobbies or
Yeah.
pop culture that we get into.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that whole world of comics and like the comic shop for me started in the early 90s. And it's I'm of the personality when I kind of get into something, especially into a hobby, I go all in, way down the rabbit hole, obsessive. And in the pre-internet days, like that was even harder because like now you can just like go on YouTube, Google search to your heart's content, all the things that you want, reading orders, watch orders. But like it was we had to work a little harder back in the day. So comics, like they always weave in and out. I would take breaks when I first from New York. I came to Boston for college, so that was my first time break in comics, naturally speaking. But within like 2-3 years of being in Boston, I found my way to a local comic shop, restarted the pull list, and then like went on for a few years, and then took another break when I was started to date my now wife, because relationships, that's another thing that it can be all consuming. And sometimes comic books, keeping up with our favorite heroes and villains takes a backseat to that. But through it all, I've always kept my pulse on it, even from reading and collecting physical copies to like really embracing the collected formats, trade paperbacks, whatnot. Early on with digital, I know people are very mixed on it, especially on the collecting aspect, but just as a comic reader, and it took me a long time to realize this, like there's comic collectors, comic readers, and the overarching term of like comic fan. But I think at heart I'm more of a reader, and so I think that's what's always like kept me, even if I wasn't actively collecting as a hobbyist. Hey, I'd go to my library, read the latest volume of Spidey or whatever seemed interesting, and I just love it as a hobby. I know it's like whatever form evolution is taking where I'm right now, which is like exploring this whole world of back issues. I guys, I never spent more, like spending more than $10 on a single floppy comic would pain me so hard up until 2.5 years ago, because I'm like, well, I could just buy the trade paperback for like a little bit more. So it never felt good. But then then I got
down the rabbit hole.
exactly. It was on vacation, and this is I guess it's a great way to segue into like how I started my YouTube channel, which is around this time, for part of the show and tell. I blame this comic. I mean, great Jim Lee cover on the Wolverine series. I remember this as an ad that would run the comics for the NES Nintendo game, which was awful. I mean, those like early the Silver Surfer game, the X-Men game, they were awful on NES. I still enjoyed the heck out of playing it because that's all we had. We didn't know better. But this issue, like on a trip to Maine, stopped in a great comic book store there, which I'm totally blanking on the name right now, but it's one right in Portland, Maine. It'll come to me later. But I was looking through. I think they had a little sale going on. I was like, I always wanted this issue, and it was like, funny enough, it was under that $10 threshold, so it was like dipping my toes in. But from there, I'm like, why don't I get the rest of Wolverine Volume 1 or like like that whole kind of little rabbit hole. It hasn't stopped. And the latest evolution in these past few months is trying out books, Marvel Silver Age books.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, I think all three of us kind of share the same passions here: video games, comic books. Jens is a big video game collector as well. So it sounds like, you've been picking up a lot of, Jens and I were talking about how kind of you take a completionist approach. It seems like you're like trying to maybe complete runs. Would that be an accurate kind of portrayal of your collecting style? What are you focused on right now?
I think that's true in part. I'm kind of all over the place though, if I were to be honest, because kind of like I mentioned, like I have a collection of omnibuses, I mentioned like digitally, sometimes I'm happy with just that. But when it comes to like whole runs or partial runs and stuff, that's my love of the dollar bins, which I believe Otaku from watching some of your videos, you love a good like a good deal, but like sift like going through the boxes, even now, having bought bigger books, I still love like finding the little treasures. Especially when like, oh, this shouldn't be in here, but it is, and it's coming home with me. Or like most recently at a comic show, the Wicked Comic Con here in Boston, I finished up like issues 1 to 100 of X Factor, the original run, and it's because you know what, the last like 10 issues I needed for 50 cents a piece. I'm like, heck yeah, like it kind of satiates that part of my brain to like, oh good, it's a complete run or section of a run, which I think is my way of I'm actively trying to wean myself off, because living in an urban area, I don't have tons and tons of space. I am not going to rent out a storage unit to hold any kind of collection, and I'm, as I was telling you guys before, it's way too easy for me to collect things and like go like, go way deep way too fast. So yeah.
Well, it's AAPI Heritage Month, and you have a Taiwanese heritage, Taiwanese American heritage, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. What does this month mean for you personally? Do you kind of observe the month or just celebrate the month? What's been your engagement with this sort of month of May, where we're focused on our history, our collective sort of. I know we fit under this large umbrella called the AAPI, but what does it mean to you personally as an Asian American?
I think there's still a lot to be done with that month. It's harder nowadays because there are so many important causes. Like I think I came across it's Mental Health Awareness Month too, which I think is hugely important as well. I know sometimes that's even like, I think November, right, is dedicated to like men's mental health awareness, which in itself is a very important issue too. And I think, unfortunately, like AAPI, and I'm also a father of two, and so like, how do schools observe it? Unfortunately, like my whole point being is that there's still a long way to go, and while there's a lot of great things that my kid's school does, and they haven't figured out what to do with AAPI month, and there's other there's Latinx, like Heritage Month, Black History Month, of course. And I think, I don't know, I think kind of it being, you mentioned it was all kind of a broader umbrella. I think that works as a detriment, because there's so many beautiful cultures to celebrate, and just being Asian, like, guys, it's a freaking continent of like, and then you subdivide it. Like, the US is huge, right? And there's so many subcultures, but then you have like different, like, I mean, straight up just the fact that there's different languages, right? Otaku, I think you're a Korean American, is that correct?
Right.
Yeah. So you start speaking Korean. I'm not, and a Taiwanese or a Mandarin speaking person, we might have a few words overlapping, but for the most part, it's gonna be, there's not gonna be really much understood between each other. So that's not for me to poo-poo AAPI month. Obviously, I'm honored to be here as part of that, and anytime to prop fellow folks in that subsect of the community, I think is really important for recognition. So, but as far as I think, I have not done my due diligence as like, how do I celebrate it or whatever. I mean, I married someone who is a Korean Japanese American who grew up in Hawaii. They probably be given the larger, Asian American and kind of like I was gonna say diaspora, but really, actually, it's like the intermingling of cultures. I feel like that's probably the future in the generations to come. Where I don't know if you guys knew this, but if you go to McDonald's in Hawaii, there's soy sauce on the counters.
Yeah.
And everyone knows what soy sauce is, but they're not at your like, oh, they're certainly not in our McDonald's like down the street or at a diner or whatever.
Yeah.
But how ways I think that, I mean, food is also a huge passion of mine in both cooking and eating it. but
Well,
but
it's
yeah.
so interesting that because Jens is also in a multicultural, you know, Jens is a multicultural marriage as well. I am also part of a multicultural marriage.
Oh,
My wife's
really?
Japanese, I'm Korean.
Okay.
So it's interesting that we're meeting here. It's kind of our first meeting, but we have all these intersections of connection, video games, comics, and this multicultural
It was
It's
meant
what
to
we can
experience.
all
be.
agree on.
Yeah. So
That's what
many.
transcends, like the passion for it. It's what it totally is. And for my background, I'm German and my wife is Mexican, so that's
Oh, wonderful.
yeah. I don't, maybe don't fit in the API there, but it's
No, you are. You're a fellow Asian. You're a fellow Asian in spirit.
in
That's
spirit.
what
All right.
I like to call my non-Asian friends that celebrate with us. So
We appreciate you, Jens. Don't worry.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Uh, so I did go off a bit of tangent, but ultimately, I think the food part. I I honestly think that that's a huge thing. So I'm laughing at the comment that popped up. Um, sure, yeah, Heinz 57 can count. Um, I do the food just it being like something that is so intimate. We ingest the thing, right? And like how I think, and maybe because when I travel, especially to a new country, the take me to local food, show me like, hey, this is like the national dish, this is this town's specialty. I haven't had the pleasure of visiting Germany, but the times I've had German food, man, wonderful stuff. um, so
Very
I think
hearty food.
very hearty food. And hey, I love some like sauerkraut and like those flavors, and this everything goes with beer. I mean, you can't complain.
I mean, you had me at beer and sausage, man.
Yeah, I mean, how right?
Can't go
Like,
wrong.
if beer and sausage goes across, I forgot what the in Korean cuisine, right? Is there is there a blood sausage or something like that? That's like a
Yeah,
very
yeah.
quintessential bar food.
Sundae, yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah.
sundae.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. And there's like lapchang, like the sweet Chinese sausage that I saw used in an American breakfast sandwich. I think it was like a grandma in New York City, and so
Yeah,
she brought her own Chinese sausage to to the deli, and then made a lapchang sausage, egg and cheese. I was like,
nice.
oh my god, this like I haven't tried it yet, but that's on my list of things to try.
Do you go back to Taiwan ever so often?
Last time I went was actually before I had kids, and that was back in 2012, which I went with my parents and my wife. So we're overdue for a trip, but for sure, I know my mom wants to take the grandkids there,
Yeah,
the
wonderful.
motherland. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been in Taipei, but I love Taiwan. It's such a chill little island there. Everybody's everybody lacks, and they have great food. Oh my god, the food there is incredible.
Definitely.
So let's you kind of were talking about why how you started the channel. Can you
Oh yeah.
expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, so this channel that I have now for comics, old stuff is cool. It's actually my second venture into YouTube, and it's I think there's a creative side in me, creative, and I think I always need some sort of creative outlet. Music is another one, but I really enjoyed making content for my previous YouTube channel, which had to do with men's grooming, specifically traditional shaving. There is a huge or there is a hobby scene there too, surprisingly, but I did that for a number of years, and it kind of came to a good stopping point. But what was there to meet me as I was winding down was this reignition reigniting of my love of comics. And what I wanted to do with the channel was, well, have that creative outlet, and also, I mean, and just for me to document where the heck I'm going to go on this comic journey this time around. And in some ways, also as a backdoor way of accountability, and where I'm like, oh, okay, like, like how if I add up, like, they're mostly, my videos have been mostly comic calls, because to be honest, they take the least amount of prep. But I would love to do more video essays. I think I've managed more in these past 2 months to do, like, I have a monthly pull list to talk about some of those books as well. So it's multifaceted, but for the past year and a half, it has been mostly haul videos, just as a simple way to document things.
Yeah.
And I'm fairly new to a YouTube channel, and I saw like you started a little bit over a year ago with the comic book channel. Is that right?
That's correct.
So, yeah, what has worked for you? What hasn't worked? Is there something you can, since like I've been doing this maybe for two months or so, so
Yeah.
I'm trying to, grab as much information as I can.
Sure. What has worked, and the reason I mentioned, like, this is my second go at YouTube. Even with all like knowing the strategy, I think and I will share a few things that have worked, of course, but I think to always have, like, as long as you're having fun doing it, then it is sustainable. And that's kind of the most important part, is sustainability and consistency. So whether you commit to doing a weekly video every other week, or even a monthly, whichever it is you choose, do something that's sustainable for you, that you still have fun, and you can do it and maintain it for 6 months to a year, and obviously you can readjust as you go, but whatever that, the frequency is, stick with it. Don't do like, I'm gonna do daily videos. Oh crap. Like, I can't do that. I'm gonna do monthly videos. Like, the YouTube algorithm is a fickle mistress, and it's always changing anyhow, but she definitely doesn't like it when you when you play games with her in that aspect.
Okay.
That's great advice. I need to be more consistent too. Yeah.
Consistency. It's like a good relationship. Consistency is very important. And of course, Jens, I don't know if you came across, like, having a clear, like, the title. Most people will actually work from the title, the concept of the video, like, what is the hook, and then go and record everything else. I know that, and that has been consistent of YouTube. I don't do that because I'm doing haul videos, so it's very, very dependent on what the heck either I picked up or came in the mail.
Yeah.
But even then, I still, like, is there something I want to talk about, at least that's connected to those books, or you piggyback off things like Daredevil Born Again season 2 just wrapped up. It's a good. I think one of my videos recently popped off, for, relatively speaking, instead of like a dozen views, it actually hit over 100, which for a small channel for me is like decent. It's better than normal. So I think small things like that, if you're able to connect it, but even that kind of stuff can be tricky, given if when you can record, when you can edit, and then eventually publish.
Yeah, I mean, I was mentioning to Jens backstage, your channel is so easy to watch, and again,
Thank you.
I love the haul videos. It's one of those things that I think that's what I like about this community, since everybody's showing off their books, and you kind of see, okay, for me, what I have a little pet peeve about haul videos, when people don't share what they spent. They just like show off, hey, here's what I picked up, and they never share what they spent on a book. I don't know why that's like such, like private information, but that would make it, that much more enjoyable if oh, he got a good deal, or he overspent, those little details.
I do think I noticed the same thing. And I think part of it is, like, no one really wants to be caught with egg on their face, and that, dude, you paid like 3 times the amount you should have. I was like, I did.
Yeah.
It's out there. I think that's the fear, or if there's some sort of shady dealings in the background where like they were given the book and they didn't disclose that, which that can happen too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or if you told the wife you spend like $10, but
Oh,
it's like
I think
$100.
that's the main thing.
that's also right. Now you have video evidence, which you can
You
use
spent
to
how
use
much?
against-
Exactly, right?
Yeah, that's a good one, Jens. Yeah, watch out for that one.
We don't want anybody, getting run out of the house because of a video.
You told me you won those in a giveaway. Like, yes, I had to pay for.
It's not what your video says.
Yeah, that's dangerous. Yeah, it's video evidence.
So what have you picked up recently? Anything worth noting? Some good pickups?
Yeah, so I had mentioned to you the latest event I went to was Wicked Comic Con, which is it's a free convention in like downtown Boston. So the fact that they can make it free to admission is great. I think you still need to pick up like a digital ticket, but at no cost. So I guess this will be a super otaku exclusive, since
Nice.
I haven't edited the video yet, but
Yes.
I did get a. My big purchase of that show was this guy right here, and I've been on a huge Daredevil kick. Sorry, my ring light. How do I do this?
Nice.
Here. But first Bullseye over here.
Yeah. That's a big book.
Sorry, I'm like, where am I holding this? This was on my list of like quote unquote big boy books, which I like to call. And I think I did something though where it's like I wanted, like this larger purchase, and in addition, like looking for dollar books and other stuff. Like I did both. It was at a vendor who I saw at the show last year too, so I was really looking forward to what they had. But I am buying this book at the peak of the popularity because everyone has Bullseye on their mind because of the TV show. So I'm like, I was a little bit in my brain, I'm like, oh, should I have waited? Wait for it to cool down a little bit. But at the same time, it's like it was a vendor I was happy to give my business to, and also they're always open to negotiating. So there's always a little bit of that buyer's remorse. But yeah, I got this along with the aforementioned rest of X Factor books, which were 50 cents, or probably less because I bundled it all together.
Wow. Okay. That's a pretty big. I know you've been picking up a lot of Daredevil books. Is that kind of what your focus is right now then?
I was like, sorry, I was reading the comment and trying to listen. Could you ask your question again?
Oh yeah, I know you've been picking up a lot of Daredevil. Is that kind of your focus on collecting right now? Just kind of finishing up the Miller run or all the keys there?
I wish like that's true in part, but I have my finger in so many different finger in different puddings or pies, like whatever the saying goes. Like there are multiple runs I'm going for. I try to pare down as I kind of like sit down and evaluate. I have a little like a little Word doc, which I'm going after these runs. Like, do I really want to go after these runs? So I'm still not sure like what of Daredevil. I really want to like switch to just keys and not, because I think Daredevil actually has a lot of like, you could do the run filler, but like there's big as far as like the good stories, like the Miller run you mentioned. I like a little, what do you call it, like mini milestone was finishing the Frank Miller written and drawn part of Daredevil. But then for fans know that he came on as an artist first, and I forget the writer that he worked under, but there's maybe like 6 or 7 issues there. Like that's the next like mini goal in the Daredevil. So I'm trying to like do little chunks, little manageable chunks that hopefully will prevent from going like going out of control financially speaking, of course.
Yeah. So next pickup is First Elektra.
I actually got that one earlier.
Oh, you got that one. All right.
Yeah,
cool.
It was one of my earliest purchases for this year.
Nice.
So that was, I was like, okay, unexpected, but that was great. So yeah, it's been a good year for picking up Daredevil. But there's been like, if you were to ask me like what are my favorite characters, it'd be so hard to choose. I know like as far as like I can speak to like the current hunt, this current, like comic frenzy. Like Moon Knight is another favorite. Like I know like a lot of people like once his Disney Plus series finished, like, oh, who cares about Moon Knight? I love that character. So, and kind of similar like street level vigilante, maybe a little grittier sometimes. The home base though will always be Spider-Man and X-Men. That's like that just gets me in the feels, nostalgia for it. The thing I'm currently going back and forth on in my mind is like, do I want the full Chris Claremont X-Men run? Because I have all the latter part. It's the first year or two, which is all, of course, the most expensive ones. And
94 through
94 GX giant size #1. My earliest issue, I want to say like 112 right now. But looking at it, right, like I have the Marvel's Epic collections are a great way to like to at least read and have those completionist tendencies. And it's like I don't necessarily want I don't want to spend the money that would require on each of the issues, but if there's a key first appearance, if there's like John Byrne's first issue on Uncanny, I want to grab that because I think he's so crucial to the popularity of that series. But when there's like lesser stuff in between, or even like I don't love this cover, the issue itself, like I don't have any, it doesn't evoke any emotions. Why am I spending like that could be diverted to something else, to like, I don't know, like the first appearance of Galactus. That certainly needs more money than than the rest do. So that's where my brain is going right now.
Yeah. We all suffer from the same same
dilemma. I'm glad. Yeah.
What not to pick up and where to stop.
yeah. It's hard to draw a line. I mean, if you have the means to get everything you want, sure, more power to you. I am not in that position.
Yeah.
It's always the three things in collecting that's a problem. It's money, space, and time.
Oh,
and
yeah.
If you have if you have issue with two of those, then it's a real hard thing to continue collecting. So, but you could always live with one, not having one of the three, but you have to have at least 2 out of 3. So
yeah,
that's a great way to put it. Yeah. I'm gonna remember that as I'm like, okay, I gotta make some cuts, or I gotta I feel like I am always trying to refine like what is that collection, and even just like in a good way. I think I'm past where everything looks good. Like, oh, I want to get this Bronze Age key, that Copper Age key. At the very least, I'm glad. Like, I enjoy like DC characters and stuff, but collecting wise and this whole back issue part, I'm so happy to say, other than getting the 90s Batman Nightfall, like when Bane breaks his back, that was not expensive at all. Complete, like whatever I needed to finish that out, or even like Superman and Death of Superman and stuff. Like that's kind of like that's where I first got introduced to DC.
Yeah.
And I think I have blinders on, and I'm happy to keep those on. From DC Silver Age. If I get into Batman, good lord, like there's, like their first appearance for any of the villains alone, it's just like you're lucky if you're like, oh, a couple $100. Okay, that's small, that's chump change for going for those.
No, you touch upon a really important point, and it's a mantra in our hobby. It's like collect what you like, right? You mentioned 3 books there. Bane breaking Batman's back, Death of Superman, X-Men 1. These are not expensive books. They're very inexpensive, but they're such cornerstones of the hobby. And it's really, they're books that you should at least read, if not have in your collection. And a lot of people do, obviously. But yeah, you don't have to spend a lot to really have a good collection, right? It's really about kind of just focusing on what you want to have in your collection and what you want to focus on. So that's good advice. Yeah,
and I think what you just said made me think too. I guess some of the dangers of the YouTube side, because I definitely was watching, who I'm watching, and I love to hear what people are collecting, what things are they discovering. At the same time, I have to keep myself from comparing myself. Like, oh no, so and so has this in a collection. I need to have that. Or even like as I was trying to pare down, like, wait, why am I going after this, this $30 comic when it doesn't really like other than like a cool cover, which I think that's always that's something you always have to fight against. But beyond that, like, is there more to it? Like, oh yeah, I don't even really like that character. Why do I have this one-off thing? Maybe because someone showed it off. Versus like Otaku. Like if you got a cool X-Men issue I didn't know about, it would make sense. Like that's one again. It's like it's one of my comfort foods or like home base for comics. Like, oh okay, gonna hunt that issue down. Because I kind of a longtime X-Men fan or whatever.
That Wolverine book you picked up, that's I mean, people always talk about what's arguably Jim Lee's best work, cover artwork. I think that Wolverine is his best cover artwork. Ooh. Everybody points to the X-Men, the Captain America, Black Widow. That's a great cover. Oh yeah, too.
That's a great cover. Yep.
That's a great cover too. Nothing against that, but I mean that Wolverine cover. If you really, look at that.
He says,
look how feral and vicious he looks in that. Like, that is just, that's beautiful. And that was a good pickup. That's a great, everybody has to have that book. I'm sorry.
That's what sent me like,
$20 book. You should be able to afford $20 for a high grade copy. So there you go.
I liked what you did for 2025. You had like this chart of all like the big books that you're planning on picking up. Did you make one for 2026 yet?
So I didn't make one ahead of time. I think maybe when things started off, right? Like there's like 4 books, and like Death of Electra actually was. First Electra was one of them because I was already on that path, but luckily I think that was a great tool to have, and that's kind of what helped me realize like. I definitely on my own threw things onto that 2025 list. I think maybe changes and whatever, but I'm glad. Like I was like, I don't really care about that book, but it's just like iconic or it's on my brain for some reason. And so I like luckily seeing it there. It's like this does not belong with with the rest of what I've been really liking. Like I think a bunch of X-Men, like the Dark Phoenix saga was a huge completing that that happened last year, and a bunch of the Black Suit Spider-Man when that kind of the introduction of that, those two,
nice,
which kind of makes sense after like sharing with you like who my favorites are, right? Like of course in that first year I'm like seriously collecting. That's what I went for.
Do you have ASM 300?
I do. That's Otaku. That's the most I spent. That has been the most I've spent on a single comic to date.
Yeah, I won't ask what you spent, but
that was that. I think that was maybe like around the 300 mark. I want to say, which I'm not spending that much on a regular basis on a single comic book. But it's like, but for that one, I will had done some research and found like a trusted buyer online. Just trusted seller online to pick that one up.
Good. And it was a raw copy. Not a great
raw copy. It was actually bundled with some of those Dark Phoenix Saga books, so I kind of was able to check off a bunch in one fell swoop.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, I know Jens is looking for that book too.
ASM 300.
Yeah, like all of the 300. Then the Black Suit ones, 252, Secret Wars 8. And then also that Daredevil was it 164 or the the Black Suit Spider-Man in Daredevil.
Oh, in Daredevil? Are you thinking of Marvel Team Up?
Marvel Team Up.
Daredevil's on the cover of Marvel Team Up. I
thought it was.
I think it's right here. Are we talking about this one?
That one, yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what are you missing from the Black Suit keys? Do you have all of them?
I caught like the Pokemon. Like I got them all.
Oh, nice.
So like the Spectacular Spider-Man, the one with Black Cat on the cover. I think that's the cheapest of the keys. Secret Wars 8. Jens, is that one that you're on the hunt for? Secret Wars 8?
Yeah, all of them basically, but yeah, that
All
one
of them.
too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was really lucky. That was one of the bigger books I bought in my youth. I think I paid $20, which was like a lot for like a middle schooler at that time, not buying back issues. But I'm so glad I picked that one up. Like at, at that price back then.
And now you have to add a zero to it. So
I know. It's yeah. That oh god, you're right. You're right.
Do you
But
have the burn negative space cover?
no, that is on my that is on my wish list right now. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, that's a good
that's
one.
such a good cover. Yeah,
That's a good one.
yeah. So I have been playing though, like with it, even though it's not one that I've like talked about or whatever. I feel like I've actually with this kind of like okay, I've refined this process and I start making it. So I think I will probably within sometime in June. I think I'll touch upon that just to do. It's a good way to check in like what I've got and then
Mhm.
what am I looking for, which the other big book I think I've been keeping my eye out for is First Hobgoblin. So ASM 238. But dude, that guys, that's such a pain because there's like the stamp um, to consider, and for whatever reason, at least in doing a quick eBay search, these are really beat up copies, and they're asking for. I feel like they're asking a lot for some pretty like cruddy conditions.
Yeah,
I
you know,
heard
the
that the
Marvel stamp is such a just the kids cut them out. I mean,
Yeah.
if the
Oh,
kids bought the book, it's pretty much gone.
I misspoke. It's I mean the Marvel stamp books are definitely a pain. No, that one has the dumb tattoos.
Oh, is it a
yeah,
tattoo book?
It's
Okay.
the tattoos, which you could marry it from. I think there's an issue of Fantastic Four
I was about to say, yeah.
that reads horizontally, so people will like buy that one for I don't know. I think like what $20 on the high.
Yeah.
Remove it and then put it with their no tattoos copy of
Hey,
of ASM. Which
if
hey,
CGC can't tell the difference, then you're
That's
good.
what I heard. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I recently got a book where one of the kids wrote their name on the book and then did all the little word puzzle.
oh
Just like,
they got their money out of that from that
yeah.
book.
That's why you should always check the book.
Although I think people and it's a great attitude to have. I don't know if I share it, but like you know, especially like Silver Age and the older comics, where for sure it was definitely an all ages group, you know, like audience. So of course, like Johnny written, you know, on the cover somewhere, or I have a few older issues of Daredevil where someone colored in all the eyes. I don't know why, but that one I found a little creepy, but also kind of charming because like, oh, you know, little Billy. Um, just wanted to color in all the
or
color.
Lady J with the mustache.
Oh gosh. Yeah. So sometimes it's fun. Like if you paid like multiple hundreds of dollars for a book and found that and didn't know about it, I mean, you know, that's a different story. But
Ron saying he cut out the ads to sell the greeting cards. Oh no, Ron.
oh,
Ron got duped into working for the greeting card people. Come
oh,
on.
I'm sure you weren't the only one, Ron. Don't worry.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
one of the Supermans from you, Otaku, where some girl practiced her name over and over on it, Amy. Like it's on the cover is like
Oh yeah,
40
we love
times. I'm like,
Amy.
Amy, what are you doing? You don't have paper in
Oh
your
my
house?
gosh.
She was practicing her penmanship back when
Yeah.
they
I mean, it looks
actually.
pretty good. She was getting better at it, but the entire cover, you know? So,
Oh man.
Yeah.
uh,
So
I
yeah, do you have any plans coming up this summer? Like it's big con season. You plan to do anything, you know, channel wise, collection wise? What's on the horizon for you?
Summer, you know, not really as far as like cons go. The big one in the north or in my area is Terrificon in August, where there's tons of guests. I would like to go at some point, but at the same time, because my wife is an educator, and then I mentioned I have two kids in school, so that's the time we usually take to visit Hawaii, where all you know my
Oh,
in-laws and
nice.
that side of family is, which is great. Maybe one thing I you know I hadn't really thought of it, but there's one comic shop that I found there, and I got to talk to the owner. Just you know, just in general, I'm a talker, so I'll chit chat with especially the comic shop employees or owners if possible, if they're up for it. Maybe film something there. I've been terrible with like I do like seeing like the hunt on some channels, but usually I'm just like, I can only focus on so many things. I'm pretty sure I have like undiagnosed ADHD. So so like it's like, no, I will. Like part of it's being present. So like chit chatting, even with people who are like fellow customers who are digging through the books. If they want to talk, that's me. I'll be there with you. I'll help you look for stuff if you want to. But at the same,
how
like,
Jens and I met.
Get out, really?
Chatting it up.
That's great. That's great. So I do love that social aspect and that and the community aspect, and you know how we all collect differently, but obviously there's plenty of overlap too at times. So yeah, I think doing featuring that store a little bit might be fun. And like I'm just blank. Yeah, my brain's a bit Swiss cheese. Like what is the name of that store? But as far as shows, like even Terrificon, it's like we'll have just gotten back from that trip, and there's some like gross jet lag that happens like coming back east. So it's probably not in the car in the cards for this year. But there's plenty of smaller shows. I think if I get the opportunity to go, I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, you really it's a contrast. Like it's a tale of like two states here. Boston, the Northeast has such a supply of comic books. Like you are really blessed. You have pretty much some of the rare collectibles up where you are, but just a ton of retail spaces where you could pretty much, if you're looking for something and you're looking for something like to get a deal on something, you have all those options locally available to you. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum is Hawaii, a place like Hawaii, where it's like, like
it's tough. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really tough. It's so barren and there's not a lot of inventory coming into that place. So yeah, it's interesting you are kind of navigating those spaces this summer, but should be fun.
Yeah, it's funny though. From where because we stay with my in-laws. Before, I think prior to the pandemic, there were two comic shops in walking distance of the house. So like I didn't even need to drive. I could just walk over there, go get some coffee and stop in the comic shop. Those two stores unfortunately aren't there. When I spoke with, and again, sorry for not knowing the store I went to, which is a bit of a drive, but maybe within like 20-30 minutes. I know distribution has been really hard to just like the fact that you gotta ship everything, the costs that come with that. And then we're talking about periodical for new books. We're talking about like periodicals. So you got new books every week, and just to I think just to survive, right? And this was a bigger shop. I think the much smaller operations just couldn't keep up.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah.
I watch a channel that's have you heard Lunch Money Comics?
Oh yes, I've met Mike. Yeah, he's in.
You met Mike, yeah. So I mean,
wonderful fellow.
Yeah, so when I see the
he's
stores
another one
that
of
he
our
goes
favorite
to,
channels.
yeah, for sure. And yeah, I mean the stores that he goes through there in the New England area is I mean it's amazing. I was telling Otaku when I started, because there's a bunch of stores in my area that don't have wall books, right? I mean, there's just nothing there when you get into the stores, until he started showing me some other stores that they're a little bit further south and stuff like that. So because I was kind of seeing that on YouTube, and I was kind of hoping that I find stuff there, but yeah, it's very different in some of the areas. And like, I mean, here I was very disappointed in a lot of stores, because I came in with this high expectation of, I've seen this on YouTube, and they have all these great, first appearances and stuff like that on the wall, and there was nothing. So
yeah, I mean, Lunch Money just steps outside and he trips over like a treasure trove of like rare golden age books for like 3 cents each. It's crazy. It's we're struggling to get like the modern books here. So it's,
I mean, so I will say that part of it too, though, is like once you make connections, whether they be business connections or friendships, like with other people who maybe like they don't have a brick and mortar store, but they are vendors, right, at the local shows. And the local shows can be large conventions, they can be in the gymnasium of a high school. There's nothing wrong with that, but you still need the people to do that. And I think, at least for lunch money, like sometimes you can benefit from just like being in that network. Like, hey, did you check out this spot? Or I mean, again, like such a great guy. Like and with interacting with him in person, it's like I can see why like viewers of the channel like, oh, like give recommendations and kind of just like be very I think he does a great job promoting kind of a very unselfish way, where like when he's doing a huge like the Gary Dolgoff sale, which always looks like such a great, like, yeah, have you seen some of those, like if you even go back the other videos, it's like this is a crazy show. I have not been to that one, but it's like the prices that some of them were going for, and people, if you're there with a group, you're grabbing books for each other, like, oh, I have like 5 ASM 252s, let me trade you for whatever issue that you need, because like obviously there's so many boxes of comics, and it requires a team. So in the same way, I think if you find like a honey hole, like oh, they have really good comics and are like at very good prices, like obviously it'll blow the lid off of it if you make a video about it. But I think so, like he will still do it to the benefit of those who might be hunting.
it's good.
Yeah, the first one that you made on that one, it was a lot emptier, I want to say, the Dalgov thing.
And then
Because
yeah.
and then he made that video, and the next
Yep.
year when they had the next sale, like the line was like out the door, and
Yeah.
that was definitely a honey hole there. And
Yeah.
some people were not happy about him sharing that info, because it got harder for them to because every comic was like, doesn't matter what the value, it was like everything was $3 the first time around. I guess after that they raised it to like $5 and $10 bins as well, but still, like, I mean, some crazy finds there, you know.
Right. And some of the books that were just like, yeah, everything here's $5. Like that is not a like that whole table is not a $5 book. Yeah, I remember like you said, like the follow-up ones, like people drove right for hours just to go to that sale. So I mean that is really the power of YouTube, and like having influence in that. But I think a lot of it too is like vendors are going there, or vendors both like owning a store, or even like selling on Whatnot or selling on eBay. I mean, that was they're getting a lot of books for, and then scalping essentially like the prices.
Yeah,
So I think there's a little bit of equilibrium, but yeah, I can see both sides. I think I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, that's true.
So John, you have a eBay store as well. Is this part of your efforts to like fund the hobby, or what are you selling there?
Oh yeah, so it is primarily to fund the hobby. When the first thing I did to when I got back into comics, like, okay, I mentioned collecting a lot of other things, and Jens, you're a video game collector. So at some crazy point in the recent history, I was like, I want to have like a what was it? I was focusing on the Game Boy Advance games and like JRPGs and some other stuff, and like it's just the stuff I love playing. I love like that 16-bit era, the music, the look of stuff. But at the same point, I had like a sealed copy of Final Fantasy VI for Game Boy Advance, and as I was playing it, I was like, I'm just playing on emulation. I'm not even playing the stupid this cart. So I was like, okay, I'm going to downsize things, and that's what shows up on my eBay. So whether it's like old toys, like Transformers, Marvel Legends, I like, oh, like I don't really need this anymore. Other comics, which either I've moved past, or sometimes I'll find, if I can find duplicate copies for a good price, sure, I'll put them on there too. But it's not a big operation by any means. In fact, like I think it needs a little TLC. I need to list a few more things right now. I'm kind of gearing up for a purge as well of more things, but It's it is solely to like whatever frivolous things I have amassed in this room, transform that into like I love the feeling where I actually sold a bunch of stuff, both comics and toys, to and this is a upcoming video where I do part-time work at my local comic shop too. So if you're in Somerville, Massachusetts, and Kamikaze, I'll be there Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So come say hi. But I traded in a bunch of like vintage toys, a long box of comics, which like I could have pruned more, but I think even just getting a long box out the door and transform that into some Spider-Man keys. 2 Spider-Man keys and an Uncanny X-Men comic. And from like, I wish it would how much square feet, but either way, a huge pile of stuff, right? That was just that was just taking up space. It's now gone from my house, and I've like 3 comics that I'm very happy to have transformed into.
That's really what it's all about. Just getting those little moments of, oh, look what we picked up with stuff we, kind of flipped or recycled. Yeah, it is. Those are fun moments.
We have those talks a lot. The quality over quantity.
Oh my gosh,
comes up a lot.
Yeah. And yet I still do stupid things that fight, like, despite knowing that, right? And then having that mantra, it's like, but sometimes with the quantity, you have a full run, and there's a special. There is a special kind of, I don't know, like, like achievement. I'm not sure. Like,
no, sense of completion.
Sense of completion.
Spider-Man. What's the point of having there's a few Spider-Man? You gotta collect the rich history of Spider-Man.
Yeah, so I have no aspirations of getting a full ASM run, and like for people who are going after that, more power to you. There's a reason, like, it's a super popular comic series to go after, but oh boy, like they're like issues 1 to 24 or whichever, 1 to 100, right? Let's just go 1 to 100.
Oh, that's pretty much that is even a tough. That's a tough go.
That can be, I mean, there's a few ones that you can have for a little less, but.
So, John, you have a Spider-Verse T-shirt there.
I do. Yes.
Yeah. Are you excited about the 3rd installment?
I'm hoping for the best, and I will definitely go see it. But I don't quite know what to expect because we haven't gotten a whole lot.
Any theories? Jens and I want to hear your theories on what might happen. You think?
Ooh, I think. Well, I know for sure. Even though it's called Brand New Day, I don't think we're gonna get any like specific, like to the comic storyline of that same name. I don't think there's gonna be much connection, other than using some characters. Man, I haven't thought about it too much, just because I think I'm not usually overly. A movie has to be really bad for me to like be really down on it. Like even when I first watched Thor: Love and Thunder, like, I didn't feel too bad about it after it came out. in thinking about it more, I'm like, oh, that was not a strong outing, but it was still better than Dark World. But the theories for Brand New Day,
or for the Spider-Verse.
Do you mean that like the Sony, the animated one, or
the Sony animated one?
Oh, in all honesty, that's probably of the Marvel movies coming out, I'm looking forward to the most. I think there has to be some other villain or villainous character that comes up, because right now it looks like it's Miguel, Spider-Man 2099. It's kind of the antagonist, but he's a good. He means well. So I think it's been great to see. Oh, I guess we'll have Evil Miles to look forward to.
Yeah, Evil Miles.
Mm-hmm. Evil Miles, and there's a ton. I think since that first part came out, there's been tons of more Spider characters.
Anyone dying in the 3rd one, you think?
Oh yeah. At least one. At least
somebody, right? Somebody's
somebody.
Dying.
I don't know who, but they got plenty to choose from.
Yeah.
was like, oh, I don't know. I might have. Oh, and then the ones from the first movie also popped in at the end, right? So like Spider Ham,
Spider Ham, yeah,
Noir. Which
Noir. Mhm.
have you guys checked out? That sorry to throw it off, but like Spider-Man Noir is out on Amazon
Oh, I
now.
haven't seen it. Yeah, we
I haven't
haven't
seen it
seen it
yet, but
yet.
I will.
Yeah,
I
I
will
haven't
watch
watched.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope to watch at least the first episode this weekend.
yeah.
I just
Cool
the only
that
thing
they
I
got Nick
watched.
Cage. He's such a big comic guy. I'm sure he's having a thrill doing these characters here.
I just watched the video yesterday about like the contractual thing that he's not allowed to be called Peter Parker, so that they have to be Ben Riley because of the Sony contract and because
Oh,
of some of the I
oh,
guess it's going to be a little bit more violent than
yeah.
Marvel and Disney would want Spider-Man to be.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's why they weren't um which Ben Riley usually is not is not Spider-Man Noir, and that's why they only call it Spider Noir, and he's not allowed to be called
Oh,
Peter Parker for
oh,
that reason.
interesting. Okay,
Yeah, so they
I
had to go,
didn't. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
no, that's why they had to go with Ben Riley, which he was Scarlet Spider, right? If I recall it
Yeah,
right. So
Ben Riley is a clone, so it's like what was it Uncle Ben's name and then May's maiden name?
Yeah.
yeah, from a multiverse something or something. I don't know. I haven't really caught up with the old one, but yeah, I was just
Oh,
watching that.
Ben Riley is like main universe.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, he's actually 616.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the confused one. he doesn't have an identity.
Yeah, he's that character's really been put through the ringer for in general. People reading like modern Spider-Man have had a rough decade and a half, 2 decades, however long it's been since Mephisto came in,
Yeah.
waved his hand. It makes me sad thinking about it too much. We should change the topic.
Yeah. So, well, we're coming up. I know we had talked about maybe showing off some books. Do you have
Okay.
anything you want to kind of prepared for us?
Yeah, so I showed you my first bullseye acquisition. And actually you guys had brought it up before about the Frank Miller run. So this was the final issue I needed to complete the Frank Miller written
Oh,
drawn, which
wow.
I believe this is a first time Kingpin shows up in the Daredevil book, because before he was like a C/D list Spider-Man
Yeah.
villain.
Yeah.
So a great cover here too.
Nice.
Yeah, so that the sense of completion that we talked about is certainly there. And just because we're talking a lot about Spidey, I was happy to add this one recently. And
Oh,
this a bit my birthday was last month or over a month ago, and this was a little gift to myself. So
yeah.
first Prowler, I thought it's actually quite impressive. Like his costume from when he first appeared it's virtually unchanged in the modern iteration, like not counting the into the Spider-Verse, which
Yeah.
it's still it's pretty close to this.
Mhm.
So cool.
First
Yeah,
Prowler, yeah.
cool little like side character that has a little bit more prominence. I feel like there might be a little speculation going there too, because when the the second part comes out, maybe you'll get a little bump, but whatever. It's not like I'm selling it. And then, I had to represent my X-Men. This is probably one of my more recent acquisitions. Again, Colossus, one of the favorites. Unfortunately, being burned there, but he'll be okay.
I love when Burn does burning covers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. And then
There's something burning.
colors. Yeah. I think this was the first time we see or they talk about Wolverine's healing factor. So it's kind of a Wolverine key.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you ever
And
do
is
any,
grade important to you when you pick up books?
Yeah, I think I usually aim for at least a mid grade, like just like above mid grade. Like so doing as I get more Silver Age books, I think I'm a little more forgiving in what that might what that might look like. But if we go uh, I think for the most part, like the more modern stuff, I think I definitely want to be like a definitely nicer condition. I'm not chasing like I don't really do too many like graded books, but um, yeah. What was I saying? But like a 7.5 around there, like some like the black costume Spideys are kind of in that range, 7.5, 8. That's a good sweet spot. I don't want to, or I don't feel the need to overspend for like for the minty condition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was my
Yeah.
question. You just answered that you had
Oh.
some graded books, but it's
Oh.
not a priority, or like not something you like aim for to get graded books.
Yeah. It's. I think the reader in me, I want to be able to flip through it, but well, okay. I did get a graded book recently, so you'll get all sorts of scoops, and that's because I think sometimes when you're not chasing the 9.8 graded, and you're looking for the raw book, if you're okay with like an 8.0 or something like just a little under that, it is surprising. Like, oh, you just spend 20 more bucks and get the graded one. At that point, you can crack it out there. If you hate, and I know some people do that. They just crack out the slab and they, hey, now I have my raw copy that actually at least a third party has told me this. So in that same way, I was looking for this book and it was just a little bit more to get the graded. Let me just reach over. So I picked up this guy here.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
First solo story for Moon Knight, 9.2, and it like just they had really good photos of it. So I thought like the colors were great on it.
That's a great grade.
I can read this digitally. I don't care. Like some people like, oh, it's not 9.8, so they don't care. Like no, this is fine. And the book itself, like to my eye.
Yeah, I mean, if you can find something of value that whether it's slabbed or you sometimes you just got to pick it up, whether it's a book you want or not. If it's like if you know it's valuable to somebody and it's just sitting there at a discount or something, sometimes the urge is just to pick it up and deal with it later.
Yes. Like yes and no, in that can be a slippery slope for sure. Because I don't know or what your guys' thoughts are on it, but like if it's a local store and you're hunting and like there's that like that book like this really should not be in here, or it's like on a super discount, but then do you leave it for someone else who like or especially let's say it'd be a duplicate copy for you, right? I'm not one to collect, like I know some people like I have 15 copies of whatever that thing is. I'm not one to get duplicates, and like whenever I wind up getting like I'll save a lot or I try to save by buying books in lots, so like you get that key issue but then the surrounding issues too. As someone who's getting runs, that also is not usually a problem. But if I wind up with duplicates in the process, that's when I'm very quickly like I want to move it on. It almost like pains me to like there's redundancy in the collection.
I fell into that trap once because
yeah,
I have a first Jubilee.
Nice.
High grade, probably
appropriate for the month.
Yeah, 9.6, 9.8 candidate. And I ran into a copy that was almost as beautiful, if not better in terms of the grade, for $20. And I was like, how do you pass that deal up? It's like first Jubilee for $20 in like ultra high grade. And so I just had to pick up a side. I just fell into that trap. Like, I know I shouldn't do this. I should probably just leave it here. But for $20, no, we're taking it. And now Jens has my other copy.
I think I would have done the same, especially like if you decide to, if it's like a first appearance, some sort of key book. If there's time, you're like, okay, I don't need duplicates. Then, or have you ever done the thing where it's like, hey, I kind of, or not overpaid, but like let's say you paid more for a book and then you find like a better, like an upgrade copy for less. I've done that a few times. I actually did the same thing with the first Jubilee, where I paid last year, paid a little bit more, but then I can try to make it even out and then upgrade my copy. First Psylocke 2, I had a really beat up one. Was a New Mutants Annual #2. So I paid less for the better copy, and then I should have got my money back for whatever I put into the worst copy. It's like that was the ideal scenario.
Well,
Yeah,
X-Men's heating back up right now. It's like with the second
97
season coming out.
Oh, I'm so excited for that. Yeah, July 1st.
They've announced Omega Red's gonna be. I mean, that's huge. Everybody's been waiting for Omega Red.
That's
and
funny.
that first key, it used to be like close to $50 for first Omega Red. I see it selling sometimes for like under 10.
It's going way down.
Copies of Omega Red for under $10. And if you're gonna pick it up, you gotta pick it up now, because it's like it's almost an afterthought now that key's just gonna probably shoot up closer to 100 now that the show's coming and he's gonna be there. So that's a huge one. But yeah, it's like all the X-Men keys are kind of on fire again. It's like rekindling all the X-Men fans again. So it's good.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say about getting the other deal. There's nothing wrong with it. Only if you end up like keeping both copies and then get a third one and stuff like that. That's when you have a bit of an issue, right? That's when you really have a problem.
That's the road to hoarding, Jens.
I know. That's why I asked you about grading, about the grading, because I prefer them graded just because coming from video game collecting, and this is like maybe 5-10% of what I used to have.
Yeah.
What I fiddled down. So when I started with comic books, I wanted to keep it more focused.
Yep.
And that's why I want to kind of just pick like certain ones that I like, and then get the ones that you like and get them graded and stuff like that. This way I don't end up with drowning in comic books here or something like that. So trying to avoid that, but it's not always easy, right? I mean,
sure.
Mhm.
Oh, sorry. So Jens, then are you not so much like, are you not looking to collect like full runs of certain series or anything like? You just want like the significant to you books?
Significant to me, yeah. I mean, I have some that they're really not worth much, but I remember them from my childhood.
Sure.
Just the big keys and stuff like that. And then the same way, like if I read it either digital or an omnibus trade paperback or something like that.
Yeah.
Follow up the story that way. But like I don't want to get into the habit of collecting whole runs, because if I get down that rabbit hole, I can't stop, and then it just becomes a real issue. And so I need to hold myself accountable.
That's a real issue. That's a good comic pun there. Unintended, or
it was unintended, but it worked. Yeah,
I feel like it was unintended. I was giving you credit that's unintended, but I had to call it out because that was great. The long boxes, short boxes are just to continue with that line on the grading. Like I have changed my thinking about it in the past year, because not to be all morbid and stuff, right? But like if you want to accumulate stuff, my children will probably have to deal with it when I'm gone from this world. And like I enjoy comic stuff with them. I mean, they're not collecting anything like that, but already it's like, okay guys, like someone's gonna get the Spider-Man stuff and someone's gonna get the X-Men stuff, and we'll make it we'll make it fair. But like with the graded books, like when it comes that time, or even if I'm liquidating at any point, the process is much easier. And that's not something I considered before. I'm just like, I'm getting stuff and I'm going to get my complete stuff and whatever. At this point, they can just like, okay, kids, these long boxes, this is my own mania. Don't worry about those. This box, however, like don't don't let someone like what do you call it? Like lowball you on those. And if they're graded too, it's like you have a definitive thing to at least reference, as opposed like, I think it's a VF, you think it's a F. This guy thinks it's a good. That guy thinks it's like it's whatever. It's trash.
Yeah.
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 So that's a new aspect to it that I was not thinking about, or I'm not always thinking about it, but now with that
Yeah.
Moon Knight book, it's at least a consideration.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's something I think it is an investment, and the I think we're just like a stone's throw away from grading services being really impacted by inflation, and it being one of those like things only like the bigger collectors can really afford to do. Because if you look at what's going on in the card market and
Ooh, yeah.
how
Yep.
hard it is to grade cards, comic books, CGC is kind of cornering the market on grading services for comic books now. And if they chose to just like, you know what, we're going to double our fees. I mean, what are we as collectors to do at that point, right?
Right.
Especially in
Yeah.
the,
Who can afford that service? And
yeah.
even then, like, I'm not saying I'm gonna go out and grade my books. I mean, if I were to grade like a childhood copy of it, there's a dual purpose of like, that the end game purpose, but also just like, hey, I was in for either cover price, right? Like, or because I was just buying stuff at the time. I think that's, and if you kept it in good condition, it's probably worth worth at least what it costs right now to perhaps consider that option. But any of like my new monthly books, like I it's too volatile. So like just like the example of Absolute Batman, like everyone is crazy for like Absolute Batman, Invincible, and those modern titles. But like I think at least with Absolute Batman, whenever it's time to close that universe, those things are going to go down. You know what I mean? And like if I wanted the short term flip it, okay, that might be worth it. But um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't stay married to books if you think they're going to lose value, right? So just be smart with that.
I read it, I enjoyed it, I think it's great, and I got my entertainment for it. But as the older books, right, like Bronze and older, at least has an extra like archival purpose, or sorry, not archival, preservation purpose too, because they're they're just deteriorating like slowly over time.
Well, we could talk about this topic, the grading, the collecting. We could talk about it all night. But John, I just really want to kind of thank you for your time today. It was just such a fun conversation. Jens and I'm sure Jens, I speak for Jens, we really enjoyed this session. And hopefully we can do, more of these check-ins down the road. And of course, we do have some announcements here. I'm just going to kind of make us all sort of so one thing, I'm going to share a link here, and this is a link to one of my friends' channels here. Oh wait, no, that's not it. I copy and pasted the wrong thing. Hang on, just give me a moment here. So one of my
We lost your audio there, Otaku.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
Is
You're
it
back.
now?
You're
back.
One of my friends in the community recently interviewed Sanho Kim. And for those of you who don't know who Sanho Kim is, he is the person that kind of broke the color barrier for Asians in American comic books. He started as the first Asian artist for Charlton Comics in 1966. Again, the first Asian to work in American comic books. And he had a pretty a career that ran into the Bronze Age. It started in the, silver, ran into the Bronze Age. He did do some DC books, but it was his career mainly focused at Charlton. And it's really the luck of aficionados here that are preserving sort of this legacy of Kim Sano's work. And recently, through the hard efforts of again, a comic bookworm. That's his channel name, but it's his online name is Naman. Due to Naman's efforts, they were able to connect with Sanho Kim, who is 87 years old, or I should say 87 years young. And he came on and did a great interview and live stream with, again, big fans. We're all kind of big fans of Sanho Kim just because of what his history represents. Also, some of the innovation he was doing in his comic books for Charlton at the time. And what people don't realize is Sanho Kim, when he came to America, he was already a well-established manhwa artist in Korea. In fact, he holds the equivalent of Jim Lee's record in Korea. He has the best-selling, highest-selling issue and series for a comic book called Li-Fi or Ri-Fi. We're not sure if it's an L or an R, but it's Ri-Fi. But Ri-Fi, yeah, is it's like Astro Boy in Japan. It's basically a legendary comic book title and series. And again, he has this historied career in Korean comic books and also this trailblazing history in American comic books. And we are really trying to promote his legacy and his history and his contributions. So we are asking all the channel members to create something where you're focusing on Sanho Kim's work. And it can just be a short, it can be a longer format video. But what I'm going to do right now is kind of share the link to, let me just share here. Give me a moment here. Sorry, I didn't have all this prepped in advance. Videos. Okay, here we go. So what I'm going to share right now is not the exact video, but it's sort of a link to, again, Naman Hyung's video in the chat here. Go and check out his channel, and you can find, again, links to the actual interview. What we want you to watch is the interview with Sanho Kim. We also want you to maybe do some research. But what I'm going to share right now is a community petition, okay? And what we're trying to do is we're trying to garner as many signatures as we can, community signatures. And what's important here is that you not that you just sign it and put your name to it. There's a section where you can put comments. And what we'd like you to do is really put a passionate plea, a passionate sort of argument, you know, kind of get yourself acquainted with this history, with this, and what it means to you personally, especially those of us who are of Asian heritage, Asian comic book collectors or Asian comic book creators. Because, you know, this is one of those moments. He introduced Korean culture and history in his comic books. And he did it at a time where it was in a environment where there was a lot of racist caricaturing going on in comic books, a lot of negative stereotypes, a lot of sort of nationalistic sort of bigotry against Asians in general. And here comes the first Korean comic book creator showing, basically introducing manhwa techniques, which is largely kind of influenced, or there's sort of a bridge influence with manga there. But yeah, he's bringing all those techniques. He's introducing Korean language, like I said. He's introducing Korean history and culture, really changing the focus and promoting a sort of a more positive light on Asian culture. He's actually introducing a lot of Chinese, Japanese, and Korean cultural elements in the historical garb in his comic book. So very, very historically accurate. It's incredible work. And so I would encourage everybody watching this video, please use your channels, use your voice. And again, I just shared the online petition that we're trying to get going. We want to see as many signatures attached to this, because what we're going to do is we're going to then write the Eisner Hall of Fame committee for them to consider either some kind of lifetime achievement recognition, or actually inducting him into the Hall of Fame in the coming class. So they vote in February. We're going to mail this letter out right around Christmas, so that when they come back from break, they'll see all these great sort of pleas for the induction. And let's see where this goes. Okay, perfect. And with that being said, John, again, thank you again for your time. And hopefully you'll join us for next year's AAPI Heritage Month celebration as one of these panel members, and helping to maybe bring other guests and interviews. Obviously, we'd love for you to host your own content for the month, and tie it to this community effort. But yeah, any last thoughts?
Oh no! Just thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure talking with you, Otaku, and with Jens, getting to know you guys. Thank you so much for inviting me on to be part of this month. And sorry we didn't get to talk more specifically about AAPI, the month itself. So I'll just take this opportunity that to say that I think representation is super important. I think the Asian American culture is in a really tough spot. There's still a long ways to go, and kind of as I alluded to with how that month we celebrate in my children's school. I think it's easy to show like an Asian character here or there, or even where like you have Asian creators going on. But I think we can go beyond, and I think as as comic fans, as this community, we can push so that you don't only have to have the Asian characters don't only have to be written now by Asian writers and Asian artists. That's great to feature them, but spread the love. I think there's great advancements. Like I know, like Jean Lun Yang has written Superman at this point, and now is writing Ninja Turtles. Like that is awesome. And there's I just love that you are featuring also like both known, unknown, or even like like people that deserve the spotlight. So can't wait to see what is in store for next year. Love to join you guys, and if you ever want to just check in and what crazy sorts of things we're collecting and bounce off each other, I am always open to that. But yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity tonight.
Thank you. Again, I am just, if you're going to create content to advocate for Kim Hano's inclusion into the Hall of Fame, again, please, first off, sign the online petition, and then also create some content and put in the hashtag Eisner Hall of Fame. This will hopefully get some of the judges. It's a real close. It's interesting because they have two panels. One's a panel of judges for the Hall of Fame committee. They just pick whoever they think is worthy. And then there's sort of a more like community-based judging, and they don't release the people who kind of influence this, but they get to vote as well or influence the judges. But they also kind of, if you have a real case, they want documentation. They want like things that would sway them. It's not just going to be a letter, but it has to be something a little bit more concrete. So the more we promote, again, advocate our channel and talk about this, the better the argument is going to make for Master Kim to get on their radar. Perfect.
Gotcha.
All right. Jens, any last thoughts?
No, Thanks for having me, and thanks for making me part of it. Really appreciate it. So it was a pleasure meeting you, John, and yeah, I'll follow up on your channel to see the rest of the videos. So
Thank you so much,
thank you.
guys.
Yeah. Good night, and we'll see you in the next one, everyone. Peace out.
Take care.